Hi guys, I'm Ariel. I am back with the lovely Steph, who is going to be my muse for today. Something that I wanted to show you guys is going to probably be a short video. It doesn't happen to all of us, but it happens to a lot of us and in different ways. So hypermobility and hyperextension. Steph has hyperextension in her elbows. And when we first started training together, she had a lot of pain in the palms of her hands, especially in something like downward facing dog. So let's have you do a downward facing dog. And it's nice to have you sideways. Let me see, what's the best angle? Yeah, sideways for now. So you can actually see it both sideways and forwards, but do you see how this kind of bends here? Looking at it this way, it also comes in a little bit. So what happens is when we come into these poses, we come into our habitual way of doing them, and usually we look for the easiest way into them, especially because something like downward dog, we're holding for so long. So in this case, she was really struggling with her downward facing dog because she's probably weight bearing in the palms of her hands, not, having a bit of trouble with the hyperextension in the elbows. So what we would say in this case, so also bring your head up a little bit, so keep the ears, so not tensing the neck, relax it, but try to keep the ears in line with your arms. Gentle bend of those elbows. See if you can shift your weight more into the knuckles so that you're not weight bearing so much in the palms. Now, this probably feels like hell, right? Because it's totally opposed to everything that you've done before. But trying to work on balancing out what our body does in these poses. So again, you're working the grip really well, which is fantastic. We're trying to eliminate too much pressure in the palms, and then you can come out of it. That probably feels like hell. you're like, oh my gosh. But again, yeah, so that's great. I mean, I think it's one of those things where, and we were talking about this earlier, I think you constantly want to be developing all of your poses in yoga. If you're coming into a pose and it's easy, I think you're probably no longer doing it right. Even if it's something simple like downward facing dog, I think we should always be mindful of what we can do to kind of go deeper into a pose, whether it's easy or not. And I think especially for people that are that hyperextend, and this is something that she needs to work with in anything, including handstands, where her hands are on the ground, and actually, to be honest, I've got a bit of it. When I come into any side plank, that's another one. I think with side plank, you'll often see people are putting so much weight into the wrist that the elbow kind of locks in. And I think the challenge there is to try to get a micro bend in that elbow so that you're not hyperextending so much anymore. And you'll also find that the pain that you get in your wrists can be dealt with, can be changed. You can sort of move the weight of your body into different parts of your hands. The body's amazing. It is always going to explain to us when something's not right by either injury or pain or discomfort or whatever. And I think it's really important that we pay attention to those things. Not just give up on yoga because it's something that she loves. And it's something that I think is wonderful because it's constantly teaching us how to develop and pay attention to our bodies. Yeah. So with hyperextension, if this is something that you can relate to, always be mindful when you're coming into poses with your hands on the ground, that if you are locking, and that elbow is actually starting to come in a little bit, or you're starting to get that wrist pain, that you start paying attention to where you're weight bearing, that you try to get a little bit of a micro bend in those elbows. Another topic that we'll be talking about in future videos is how we hyperextend people with hypermobility. So we tend to Beyonce the bum a lot, stick that bum out and really arch, but then we really hurt the lower back. It's a really flexible part of the body, but we're not coming into poses properly by maybe opening up the heart a little bit more. A lot of people that are hypermobile, hyperextend, can be quite flexible. And so they come into these poses with such ease, and I think when you come into those poses with such ease, you need to be working a little bit more on strength. Yeah. So instead of folding straight in, what can you do to kind of strengthen the pose to make it a little bit more challenging and not just a full easy release? And again, I think easy is a good sign that something's not. I mean, not to say that yoga should be hard, but I mean, I think we should always be challenging ourselves. So something to keep in mind, and I'll be sharing more tips in future videos. So thanks for watching.